This may sound like a funny question, but do you consider yourself a negative or a positive person? Do you look for the wrong or the right in situations? Does your positive or negative personality depend on the situation you're handed? All people, including me, including you, all people carry the ability to be positive and or negative. Now, how dangerous is a negative person? Can their presence affect other people around them? Can their presence influence the positive that is happening? Given enough time and space, can they beat a positive person down? You bet they can. Give a negative person enough time and space, and they can take the most positive of people and turn their world upside down. I find negative people to be an interesting study. They were not born that way. They weren't born negative. Negative is a learned behavior. If you can accept the fact all behavior has an agenda, it opens your eyes to what they're trying to achieve. Negative people want to control the environment they're in with their negative behaviors that they bring. Each behavior is designed to create confusion. Now, they use that confusion to keep leadership frustrated. You see, frustrated leadership doesn't have the energy to deal with them. In most situations, tired leadership notices the behavior, then just shakes their head and looks the other way. All that does is validate the behavior of the negative person. In this scenario, the negative person assumes the role of leader, and the leader becomes a participant in their plan. If any environment is to improve, leadership must step up and challenge the behavior of the negative people. They must raise the standards and not back down. They must create an environment that rewards positive behavior and confronts the negative actions with their strong statements and actions of presence. So, how do you establish and control the environment with positive presence? Here are my suggestions. First, presence of the leader must be consistent. This is critical. Don't ever forget that negative people will constantly test the environment. At any time leadership raises the expectation, negative people will challenge the design to see how far they can push leadership. Now, listen. If they find any weakness in the behavior of leadership toward the expectation, they will attack it with full force. This is why it's so important that leadership be consistent in what they say and what they do. If the leader won't hold people accountable, don't make the statement of expectation. Each time a leader breaks their own rule, they lose credibility and respect with the other people. Next, offer praise, not criticism. I know this one may sound strange, but again, understand what the negative person is looking for. They want you to criticize. They know that criticism comes from your what? Frustrations. When you're frustrated, what do? You react. Your reactions play right into the hands of the negative person. Turn the table on them. Find something they're doing right. Express praise. And then talk about the concerns you have. By looking for something they have done right, it will slow you down. And in you slowing down, you will have more clarity to bring to the situation. Next, stay focused on the lesson. In every situation, there's a lesson. The lesson presents you with a teaching point. When you are teaching, you are moving forward in a positive direction. Again, when you are learning, you will slow down and bring even more clarity to the event. That negative person who is trying to suck you into their chaos, they won't know what to do. Next, insist on them understanding what is happening. Have you ever noticed this? Negative people like to play dumb. Now, God didn't create any dumb people, but negative people have mastered the art of playing dumb. They'll use their lack of understanding as the reasons things went wrong. The strong leader will make sure they understand all lessons that are being taught. The idea is to have them repeat back to you what they've learned. In doing so, they can't come back to you and say, I didn't understand, or I didn't know that. Take away their behavior of playing dumb, and your life becomes so much easier. Next, take their negative behavior seriously. Don't play with these people's behavior. Negative people are some of the smartest people you will ever meet. They've mastered the art of manipulation. They're experts at finding the loopholes and using them to their advantage. These people are serious about creating confusion and chaos. And you must be just as serious about making sure they don't steal the positive energy from the environment. Don't play games with these people. I promise you something. You can't win. Next, invest in your positive people. Have you ever noticed the negative people tend to get more attention than the positive people? How many times does leadership not have time for those who are their strength? Because they're too busy fighting the fires created by the negative people. It is unfair to neglect your positive people in order to fight the fires created by the negative people. What message are you sending to your positive people? By the way, consider this. These negative people know if you neglect your positive people long enough, they'll leave. This is a major part of their agenda they work on very hard to achieve. Each time you lose a quality person, you strengthen the presence of the negative people. Next, validate the growth mission. I am a firm believer that each time the leader stands in front of their people, they should reestablish the purpose of the company. They should refocus their people on the positive path the company is on. Each time the leader does this, they strengthen those who are striving to create growth and remind the negative people where the company is headed. And then finally, expect people to step up. And if they don't, let them go their own way. Please listen to this. Get over your fear of losing people. This is one of the major ways negative people hold leadership hostage. They know most leaders don't like to recruit. They know most leaders will tolerate things they shouldn't in order to have to search for new people. You have to overcome your fear of confronting their behavior. Until you're willing to step forward with a strong, committed presence, you will have given up your role as leader and actually become the problem. Now remember this. The presence of all people is consistent with the design leadership has created for the environment.